Salaam Alaykum. This is Shaykhibrahim Ansari, and today I'm going to be talking about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. Imagine when we were originally spirit, not connected to a physical body, but rather a free-floating entity. In the Sufi tradition, there's a story that goes like this. Allah says, "Do you see me? Do you understand that you are part of me? That everything is connected through me?" And we answer, "Yeah, duh." Good. Remember that. Now, you are about to enter the dimension of matter. You will experience me from a new perspective. Light will become denser. The fluidic wheel of change and transformation will be slower. You are to explore, learn, appreciate, and enjoy it. And we say, "Sounds wonderful." Allah says, "Now to do this, you're going to be melded with one of the mammalian bodies adapted to survival. It has taken millions of years of battling adversities for them to do it, but it's how they got to this moment. And that way, you can experience this universe of materiality and share it with each other." And we say, "Okay." And then, slam bang, we are now surrounded and inundated with matter stuff. How does this work? Where does this go? Why is this happening? And the 1,000,001 distractions occupy our every moment. Families happen, health and disease, life and death, marriage and war, joy and sorrow. It never stops. In quiet moments, there may come a question from a faraway place, like an echo across the lake, asking, "Where did I come from? What am I supposed to be doing, really? What is this all about? Why am I here?" This vital spark of inquiry signals the subtle taste of remembrance of your original purpose of this momentary adventure. To recall our original exchange with the Creator, we must clear away the fog of nafs, habits and attachments and identities with the intention to know the truth. To get to that point, well, it means getting uncomfortable. Having a body, one that starts so vulnerably and primal, means being impacted by others on this wet sponge of a being. Father, mother, brother, sister, extended family, and then the community's values, then the onrush of learning how to talk, what sounds make what words, making sentences, making sense. We are taught a way to interpret all the symbols of life and what they mean in terms of culture, from the family, the community, religion, and country. Now, wherever you are, there is a unique stew of interpreting ingredients that flavors your region of the world. If it's California, then whatever is a new state-of-the-art device or idea is treasured. In Italy, the historical and traditional is highly valued. In each country, there are models of behavior, qualities that are prized, and taboos that are shunned. Some of these are arbitrary as days of the week, myths of creation, and the senselessness of game shows. To observe and witness this amalgamation of morals, ethics, values, and stories can make us uncomfortable in realizing that it is all just dust. A fine powder settling and solidifying onto our original set of perceptions. We have to crack the sediment of our cultures. Look at these fossils and remember, it is not us. I am not that. But yet, here we are in this slow-mo drama and a need to also take responsibility for our duties. Another uncomfortable paradox. Becoming an integrated human being, insani kamil, is not easy. No one is perfect, and we can only strive to improve our habits before the body gives out. It feels like a lifetime is not enough, but that's just a part of the uncomfortableness. Disentangling from the multiple threads of our cultures is tricky. For one thing, it means seeing things as they really are. It takes time and effort to attain a position when you can see your mother and father as products of their upbringing, trying to do their best to raise you because that's how they were raised. Eventually, seeing with clarity that they're just people, and that can be uncomfortable, unsettling, but eventually refreshing and freeing. It is quite common for religion and culture to be so intertwined that the original teachings are lost and hidden behind a curtain of patterns and traits associated with a specific region. As you begin to part the curtain, the tricky part is that you have to keep it to yourself. This is not something you can share with anyone. Realizations about how the scaffolding of culture is delicate, especially combined with religion. They can make an uncomfortable tribunal of apostasy or condemnation. Seeing the absurdity of, for example, making head coverings mandatory is one thing, but fighting that insanity can get you killed. As you disengage from the sticky web of who you think you are, everything will begin to feel upside down for a while. This viscous lattice of do's and don'ts, shoulds and musts, taboos and obligations is an ongoing struggle. Navigation off the web of expectations can often be dangerous or confusing. This is why and where someone who knows the territory is helpful. It's a good thing that there are others who have already traversed this route. And there are spiritual guidance counselors with various titles like Sheikh, Sensei, Roshi, Guru, Rabbi, Karaji, who understand the territory and how to negotiate it. It does not mean someone will do it for you, but at least you can get some advice and support from one who understands what you're going through. But none of it is comfortable. So why do it? A moment of reflection will lead you to the inevitable conclusion that the ultimate goal is to upgrade, to improve, to be open to learning, and make the world a better place. If you truly desire to renovate yourself, that is the booster for growth. And to grow means to let go of old stuff and be able to acquire and learn new stuff, which also means it's important to give yourself permission to make mistakes, to experience failure, to become frustrated, to feel depressed and rejected. You cannot experience joy if you do not also embrace sorrow. One may not pick and choose. It's either the whole pie or none of it. Speaking of joy, when you touch the essence of your original self, your soul, the heart activates. It turns back on. It switches into high gear so you feel even more alive. It blossoms with love and acceptance, and your life now has meaning and purpose. This alchemical journey of turning your base self into something golden is an ancient and well-traveled adventure. For those of you wishing to attempt this journey to your true home, there is unsolicited advice available from many sources. These are my own hard-earned pointers. To enter the path, fail many times. Keep imagining that you can do it all by yourself. Do this until you finally give up. And when you surrender your will is when the actual teaching begins. This is not something you can hurry. It's not fast. This process requires large chunks of time to process who you think you are and what you are not. Skipping a step will result in physical, emotional, and mental problems. Your spiritual advisor is the only companion who can guide you through the morass of the self. Now, your self, let's think of it like a zoo, and all the animals are running wild. And you, the zookeeper, well, you've finally woken up. And now you have to get all these predators and prey back into their enclosures safely. This is going to take time for you to learn each of their behaviors. And then you can coax them back in, shut the cage, and lock it. You are responsible for all of the wild yous running around. Mystical experiences as entertainment is not only disrespectful, it is poisonous and akin to gambling. If the danger is part of thrill, then please have a backup for when something goes wrong. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and drugs were part of the culture. Yes, I did a lot of them. But what I realized was that when my consciousness expanded chemically, what I really wanted was to learn how to manifest that awareness without drugs. Sufism seemed the most suited for me, but the idea of trusting another person as a guide was really hard, because I had been burned many times by so-called spiritual teachers. I didn't want to be connected with any more fakes. I had joined up with gurus, shamans, drug lords, and a cult leader to know I no longer wanted anything to do with spirituality. Until I met my sheikh. Now, what I found was my sheikh was the real thing. In my initial meeting with him, I had prepared a series of questions that would, for me, prove whether he was another fake or not. He listened patiently to each question and then answered sensibly and understandably. I felt my heart respond positively, and from then on, it was go. Having had 10 years of piano lessons with a teacher who was preparing me for a concert pianist role, I knew the role of the teacher and the discipline necessary to battle the frustration and uncomfortableness of overcoming bad habits. There were many times my piano teacher would send me into his garage with the funky upright piano to practice and perfect what I should have already prepared. The tears of shame eventually dried and I got to work, and that was learning the dread of not being prepared. Sufi teaching happens in unexpected and often silent ways. It is comprehensive and intensive. The point is to show you your true name, your true face. This process is sometimes confusing and hurts when your identity is challenged. This uncomfortableness is good. It means we've hit some roots that are poisoning you. The naf's job is to protect themselves and survive. Your job is to eradicate them because they are not you. But they will do everything to endure and expand and make you small and insignificant. This is positive pain. You won't like it. It's the same kind of dread of being shown your negative, unpleasant, stupid side. It hurts because you think it is you. It isn't you. Do not panic. Working through it is the next step. And eventually you will see that it was a hook embedded probably from way back. Extracting this weed means pulling, digging, chopping, and building up a sweat and grabbing with both hands and pulling. A moment's reflection will help you realize that it may require a more strategic method. It will need effort, time, and a sense of humor. Patience and perseverance will pay off and bring you success. And how do you know you've passed and eradicated it? There will ultimately be a test, and you'll either pass or fail it. And if you fail, you go back to working at it. If you succeed, you will know because it won't bother you anymore. Please celebrate success. Becoming whole takes your entire life. It gives you meaning, purpose, fulfillment, and connection. It is love that sustains us. It is also love that permeates every single atom, galaxy, or goldfish. We try to re-experience that connection because it is our port to navigate towards. Set your compass to Allah and hold on. Salaam Alaykum, murids, seekers, curious, and interested listeners. We appreciate you and are happy to share our Sufi message. Your donation will help support our Sufi Center in Sydney, where we do zikr, sohbet, spiritual counseling, and healing services. We believe the message should be free, but it costs equipment, rental, services, software, and hardware to get this to you. So thank you for choosing our podcast among all the millions available. If you go to our website, AnsariSufiOrder.org, you will be able to donate through PayPal whatever you think this information is worth to you. Blessings and love, the Australian Ansari Sufi Order.